Okay, so here's a new show alert. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for this here new show starring Tamar Braxton and Johnny. Johnny is a celebrity stylist. I guess he would be considered a celebrity stylist because he styled Michelle Obama. So you don't get any more celebrity than that. So Johnny and Tamar kind of go around. The show is called To Catch a Beautician, and very interesting. I got some different thoughts about this because I'm a hairdresser, so it is what it is. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, so I have some feelings about it both ways. Are we catching the beautician or are we catching the clients? Take two to tango, and I see from the first couple episodes it's kind of going to expose both things, so that's a good thing. Because at first I didn't know how I felt. I was like, so are we getting ready to try to dog the beauticians and the stylists, or what we get ready to do? It plays both roles. It's the devil and the devil's advocate. So it's like, okay, cool. This for Tamar, this is perfect for Tamar because she can actually be authentic Tamar. She can talk out of both sides of her mouth. She can be shady when she feels like it because it is her show, and her celebrity will actually stand for her to act the way that she wants to act. She doesn't have to worry about anybody telling her she's too extra for the show because the show is really based around her. It's based around, she's the star power, and it's really based around her form of salaciousness and messiness. So she can literally be authentic Tamar and she don't have to sing. So perfect type of a show for her. That I was happy for her that she finally is going to be on TV in the way in which she chooses to be on TV. So good or bad, it is what it is. So let's go. Tamar and Johnny, they actually meet up with this is episode 1. They meet up with a girl, Taylor Coco. She is, from the door, I looked, I was like, she extra. She real extra. But she's a Zumba coach. And the hairdresser name was Keisha. So we meet with Taylor first. And Taylor tells you about, her having this sew-in, how her braids were actually too tight, and it made her her head tender and sore. She spoke about Keisha having a bad attitude. Something stuck out. Things were so terrible with this hairdo, she still had the hairdo in. That struck a red flag for me. This hairdo was terrible. You still got it in. I don't remember exactly how long they said it was in, but she said that it was 3 weeks before she could actually touch her head. So I'm going to say upwards of a month. So you've worn a hairstyle for a month that was so terrible that you got to go to onto a television show about it. Red flag. I see messy bullshit on the way. I said, okay, let's see. So I sat here. She says she wants an explanation and she wants an apology. She was saying, how Keisha was really heavy-handed and that Keisha wasn't in the greatest of moods, this, that, thing, and the other. I said, okay. So we go later on. There's a surveillance room in the back of the salon. That's where Tamar and Taylor sit. Johnny meets up with Keisha. Keisha is actually brought there under false pretense. She thinks that she's actually going to audition or interview, basically, to work with Johnny. And once she gets there, Johnny talks to her a little bit, asks her about her work and, what she does, what she likes to do, that type of thing. And then he hits her with some photos. Well, do you remember this one client here? And Keisha was saying, he had asked her about weaves and how long they take. She was saying, it starts about an hour and a half and it could go longer than that. She said, I have one client who is always longer because, she's always getting up to go to the bathroom and she always has all this other extra requests. Well, right away, old Taylor done gotten her feelings back there with Tamar, and she's all like, she talk about me. Well, the first thing is, Miss Taylor, for you to know she talking about you already know you extra, and you picked up on the things that you do that are irritating, and she didn't even say that it irritated her. You could tell by her body language that it irritated the shit out of her, but she, again, you know you messy boots. Anyway, so she goes through that. She told Johnny, yeah, she says, yeah, I know who that is. And there's like hair missing and all of that, all up in hair. Their edges are gone. And she proceeds to tell Johnny, well, that's not totally my fault. It could come from, she said something about the braids being too tight. She said, okay. She says, I'm not going to argue with that. That could be my fault. Okay. If I braided too tight, I'll take ownership of that. But she puts glue all up in the top of her head and down the sides, and adds more hair to her head after she gets her hair done. Who in the hell? One, if you're getting a sew-in, why are you putting glue in your hair? Your hair is braided. You're putting glue on top of a net and on top of hair that's already been braided up. I can promise you there's going to be hair loss. Period. Wherever that glue is, because you're literally, the glue, child, you bald-headed because you simple. That's what's going on. I said, okay. So they go through that. She also goes and tells Johnny she's been back a few weeks ago. She came back a few weeks ago. So I guess that to be washed and blow dried out or whatever. You were so unhappy and you had all these different issues, but you've been back, ain't said a word, and now you basically, it was an ambush is what it was. I said, oh, interesting. So they come out, and now you got the two people standing there, and it's an ambush, and it's like, okay. And Johnny and Tamar are like, wait a minute, girl. See, you never said that you came back. And then she's like, I didn't put no glue on my sides. So she's like, Johnny said, well, do you mind if I look? He goes and he looks. See, he said, there's glue all up in here. Tamar going to say, there's so much glue in there. I thought she was trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together. See, shady ass Tamar. Anyway, so she said, no, I said I didn't put no glue down the sides. I don't need no glue down the sides. I didn't put no glue. He was like, babe, there's glue all down the sides of here. Glue and bald-headed in the mug. I just looked, I said, that, I don't know nothing about that having to do with the braids. Her braids started way back here. This bald stuff over here. Anyway, whatever. So listen, Keisha, now I can imagine that Keisha has given Taylor attitude, because Keisha has an attitude. Like, you can see it right away. She got an attitude. Flat out. She has an attitude. And it, because she was, you can see it all over her. So I can see that. But I can see where Taylor would have got on my damn nerves. But see, I was very much that way. Money don't drive me like that. I would have been told Taylor don't come back. I don't have a problem ejecting a client. Please don't come back. You getting on my nerves. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. See, I know what the effects of high blood pressure will do for you. I ain't sitting around letting no person run my blood pressure up. I ain't got time for it. Go on. There's 10 people waiting to get your spot. Girl, don't come back here. I ain't got time for it. Anyway, moving on. So, as the show goes, Johnny gives a lesson. Okay, so you don't go in there and tear nobody down without trying to build them back up. So they go and he gives Keisha some lessons on different ways in which to weave, to be able to give her the fullness, obviously, that she wants at the top that Keisha's not able to achieve. So that was really cool. So she got that out of that. Then there's a redemption. So she allows for her to redo her hair. She shows right away how extra she is, even with Johnny being there. She's sitting in there with a towel over her face and all of this. But wait a minute. He said, well, why you got this towel over your face? Well, I'm used to being in closed quarters when I do this. All this old extra stuff. Yet you wanted to bring her on TV to ambush her and embarrass her nationally, but you don't even want to be seen getting your hair braided at. Yeah, Taylor would have been out the door. Completely out the door. I wouldn't be bothered with her at all. She's ridiculous. Anyway, then she started asking questions and carrying on. Well, first of all, Johnny's standing there. Now, you've already bought the fact that Johnny is a master class, okay? So he's standing there and he's walking Keisha through it, and you still, it ain't good enough for you. You asking questions about what's she doing, this, that, and the other. You don't need to be there. If you've got to feel like that, and it's not a problem. I mean, you could definitely ask your hairdresser questions and different things like that. But if you've got to go step by step and all of this, and you got all these questions about how you part and all, anybody who's doing all that, if you don't trust enough to sit there and get your hair done without all of this, that's not the hairdresser for you. Flat out. If you're that picky and that's just who you are, do your own damn hair. Because there's a level of trust that has to be given to a hairdresser. If you feel like you got to walk that hairdresser through, you don't need to be sitting in that chair. And that's all. And y'all are going to hear this from me. If you're watching this and we're going to do reviews on it, you're going to hear it. You may not like it. I don't care. I don't care. If you are that person, wait, I need to see what you're doing. Hold on. Get up and get out. You don't trust me. See, I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. Wait, I need to watch you in the mirror. No, you don't. You need to watch me from on the other side of the glass window. Not the mirror, the window. Goodbye. Bye. Bye-bye. This is what it is. Anyway. And listen. Yeah, I'm that type of hairdresser. Yes, I got an attitude too. If that's what, some people view it as an attitude. But one thing that I never had was a shortage of clients. Never had a shortage of clients. I know what I'm doing. And if that's not good enough for you, please excuse yourself. I don't want to aggravate you, and I don't want you to aggravate me. Nobody wants to have that. As a client, I don't want that type of relationship. And as a stylist, I don't want that type. I don't got time for it. There's no way. And all money ain't good money. Remember that. Moving on. So once she gets everything done and they do the reveal, they brought her friend Stacy. He showed up and everything. And Stacy started talking about how extra his friend was before she actually came out. And she came out and I looked and I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, cute show concept. The weave didn't knock me out. It's just a weave. It's cool. I was happy for Keisha to be able to get to work with Johnny. And, yeah, I definitely think she needs to get rid of old Taylor Coco as a client. She didn't get rid of her. She don't need her at all. And that's what she said. I don't want to be, something about I didn't want to be the undesirable client. Girl, you are. You are. I just didn't say nothing because I didn't want. She was a fraud. She was a fraud. And she was a liar. And she got proved to be a liar. So where she tried to, episode 1, season 1, Miss Taylor Coco, she brought Keisha there to embarrass her and make her out to be a liar and ended up showing up as a liar and a fraud herself. And she's a horrible client and she needed to be thrown out. Anyway, that was my synopsis of episode 1 by Taylor. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later.